Oh well, my father and my mother's uncle through marriage. He was an uncle through marriage.
Had a beer.
They were partners and they're very legitimate beer distributors. And in fact, they were partners together. They had this beer distributor when there was prohibition, and beer was only. I think at that time they did have some kind of beer, but it was only 1.2% alcohol.
My picture,
it couldn't be more than that. That was that was called the Volstead Act when they had prohibition. So my father and this uncle of my mother's, who was an uncle through marriage, they were beer distributors. Finally, when prohibition was finally eliminated, the Volstead Act, they declared alcohol legal again. Prohibition was over. It was very interesting. My father, as I said, my mother's uncle would have been my grandmother's brother-in-law. They were partners, and they had this beer business. And the local hoods in their area came around and told them, said, "You better buy our stuff or else." So one of my great uncles, that is a brother-in-law to the other guy, the other great uncle, and my father, who was a nephew, they had these problems with the local hoods. Buy their stuff or else. So one of my great uncles, another one, knew Lucky Luciano. They got to school together. He went with Lucky Luciano. So he calls up Lucky Luciano, this great uncle. He was outside of the business now. He calls up Lucky Luciano and he explained to them what my dad and my great uncle were going through. That they were threatened by these local hoods. So Lucky Luciano called them up and told them, said, "Listen, if you touch a hair on those fellas' heads, you'll all end up in cement suits." So the local hoods came looking for my dad and great uncle with bottles of Canadian Club, and they said,
gifts.
"We didn't know you were related to Lucky." So they were never bothered. That's a true story, yeah.
Very cool.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I also had a relative who was a machine gun. I forgot to tell you that one.
What was that?
He was involved in, well, he was a relative. He was a cousin.